For me, in Boston, it had been a while since we competed in the playoffs, and really wasn't a healthy situation. I was 38 years old, and I really thought seriously about asking to be traded. And so, sitting down with the family, we kind of discussed it and decided that I was going to ask for a trade. And at the time, we were building a large house that I didn't want to go too far. I thought staying on the Eastern Conference would allow me to come back maybe when the schedule allowed me to check on things and the family and stuff like that. I had asked to go to Philly. I thought, looking at teams at that point, they were kind of one of the teams that were going to compete, I thought, in the playoffs. I knew Reggie Lemlin, that was a goalie coach for the Flyers. I kind of knew what was going on their side, the information I was getting. And I had asked Harry to go to Philly. Then I start getting a few calls from a buddy in St. Louis asking if St. Louis would be a spot I'd like to go. And then I heard New Jersey, Detroit. And then René Angelil, René is best friends with Pierre Lacroix, Celine Dion's husband, calls me one night. And I had played golf with René before, and he's telling me that he heard that I might get traded, and he's telling me that Colorado would be an amazing place to go play, that Pierre did not know he was calling me, and so it was just a funny call to get. So then I'm just waiting to see where I'm going to go. And then, I thought we were playing Philly one afternoon, and I thought it was a done deal with Philly. I thought that was going to be it after that game. I was going to Philly, and then I was looking for Harry to see where I was going to go, and I finally got a hold of him. He said, hold tight, something's going to happen in the next couple of days, so don't show up to the rink till it does. So then we're playing. Boston's playing Ottawa on a Monday. He says, don't come to the rink. It should happen sometime soon. So I'm just waiting, and my wife and I are looking at schedules: St. Louis, Detroit, New Jersey, Philly, Colorado, seeing, wherever we go in terms of the family, maybe coming to visit and all that stuff. So I finally got the call after the game when they were playing the Bruins. Actually, I got a call from Dave Andrechuk that was pulled off the ice in warm-up, telling me, Ray, I don't know where you're going, but I'm probably going with you. So he was right. I get a call from Harry Sinden telling me I'm going to Colorado. And then I get a call right after that from Pierre welcoming me to Colorado, all excited. And then I get a call from Patrick that is in the room with, I think there's Joe, Dave Reed, Sean Podine, Adam Foote, and Patrick passing the phone around, kind of welcoming me to Colorado and telling me to get to Calgary quick. So that's how it all went down. I never thought I would ever leave Boston, but at that time I think I really needed to challenge myself and have another run in the playoffs and see, at the age of 38, if I had anything left in the tank. And it didn't take very long to know that Colorado was going to be a very special and fun place to play.
In talking with Pierre, did your excitement grow for what Colorado was doing? Like, it kind of convinced that he was the right guy to lead you there?
Yeah, once I knew there was other teams involved, I knew that Philly might not be the spot, and that just looking at the teams and the talent, and you could be talking to Pierre at any point in time and your energy goes up, because that's who he was. He was a little kid with full of energy and a guy that had a vision that was really fun to be around. So Pierre was all excited, and so was I. We, other than being out west and being a little further from home with what was going on at that point, or the family that wasn't going to be coming out, and that first year, that they'd only be visiting, might make things, a little tougher, but they treated us great. They flew my family out a few times to visit, and but I just knew that being around Pierre and I'm from Montreal. I speak French. I'm French Canadian, and I've never been around so many French people in my life. In my NHL career, so that was going to be fun. My wife's French, and I know there's going to be a lot of French people there. I knew some guys on the team, and obviously you look at the talent and how good that team was. it was the best team I've ever played on. From that first day I got there in that first game in Calgary. So it was a long game. It was a long flight getting to Calgary with Dave and I. They sent the plane for us at 7 in the morning, and it was a small plane, and we had lots of luggage, and we're both sitting next to each other in the back of that plane. And man, we had to stop in Kansas City to fuel up, and then we get to Calgary and another press conference, and it was a crazy day. Ended up playing that night, and we won. But I just remember tweaking my groin a little bit in the middle of that game, probably because of the flight and that long day of travel. But it was nothing serious, and we went on to really get on a nice roll. I don't know, we didn't lose many games for the rest of that season, probably 4 or 5 games max, and we were able to get back in the lead of that division, won another division title, and then had a really nice run in the playoffs. So it was really exciting to kind of live again.
You talked about evaluating how much gas you had left in the tank. At first, you didn't go exactly as planned, but you saw that it was going somewhere really good. I was curious to hear his influence on those conversations that bring you on just one more year. If he had to give you a little bit of a sales pitch to stay on, or if it was something that you were just so interested in.
I knew I was coming back for one more year. Once I was there for a little bit, I knew that, this was hoping we're gonna win this year, but regardless of what was gonna happen that year, I was gonna come back for another year or so. So when that year ended, I told Pierre, I said, just give me a 1-year deal, and I'm coming back for one more year. This is it. Only my wife and I kind of knew that was gonna be, regardless of what was gonna happen. Pierre said, no, I'm giving you a 2-year deal. I said, I only want a 1-year deal. He gave me a 2-year deal. I wanted a certain amount. He gave me a little less. And if I didn't play that second year, he's going to compensate me. He's going to compensate me to make me level with what I wanted. And it was only the same salary that I was making when I got there, that the year I got traded. So it all worked out in the end. But it was just funny how I wanted the 1 year, and most GMs would have said, all right, great. Pierre gave me a 2-year deal, and I didn't go back to. Sometimes I kind of look back and I said that would have been fun to go back for a 3rd year, but I really didn't think mentally that I could get in that place to do what I needed to do. And halfway through that season, I got a call. The year I retired, Patrick called me, just December I think it is, and Colorado's doing really well, and he says, you got to come back. He says, you could play in a rocking chair in front of me, I'm so hot. So it was pretty funny call to get.
That's so funny. I'm sure you get asked about this a lot, but now so many years removed from the iconic, do you want to take it until?
No, it's just the noise.
I know.
Guys.
Of course.
I'll speak louder too.
It's good. This mic's really good. Yeah.
I hope you don't get tired of getting asked this question about the iconic moment of being handed the cup.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No,
Now,
that's.
so many years later, can you put into words the impact that moment had on you?
It was amazing. Joe, after he won Game 6, all Joe wanted to talk about coming back, he wanted to lock it up, how we were going to do the cup thing. And I'm like, Joe, let's just win the game, and, we'll have plenty of time to talk about the cup thing. But he just wanted to make sure that I was going to be next to him to hand me the puck. And that's just the cup. And that was just, who Joe is as a person, a leader, a classy guy, and an amazing player to think that, he experienced that before, but knowing that, 22 years of kind of trying to chase this dream that was hopefully finally going to happen. And if it did, he wanted to make sure that I was going to be the first guy to hoist the cup, and it was an amazing feeling. It was a relief, actually. All those years, and playing in 2 finals, not really coming close, and then going to Denver and having a good run the first year, and then having an opportunity, and you kind of learn that you're really not playing for the cup up until you've won 3 games in finals, and you have a chance to win that 4th one, and we did, and we got it done, and it's iconic because of the. What Joe, that move that he made, just unselfish, and showed again what that guy's all about. And I tell people, Joe, won the Hart Trophy that year, and I saw him score all kinds of amazing goals and make amazing plays, but that was the best assist he had all year.
And you touched on this a little bit already before, but how did your appreciation for Pierre as a GM grow in bringing on board Rob Blake to play alongside?
Well, even as a, even when I played in Boston, and since Pierre became a GM in Quebec and then moved to Colorado, you knew that every trading deadlines, there was moves that were made across the league, but the best moves that were always made was Pierre Lacroix in Colorado, and getting Rob was an amazing move again. I mean, you look at our D with, what we had back there with Footer and Blakey and Clem and Devo and Skula. I mean, you go anywhere, you take that's 6 guys anywhere to play, and and then you look at who we had in nets. It's a pretty good spot to start when you're going into battle. So Pierre, you always knew something was going to happen, regardless if you played on his team or you're watching from afar, and that's who he was. He was, he's a winner. He wanted to win. He loved the action. He wanted to make a difference, and a lot of GMs will just sit back, and just kind of ride out the season or whatever. He was not that guy. He was there to win, and whatever he could do to give his team a chance to win and to get better, he would do it. And more than not, he did.
I'll begin winding it down. This actually can be the last one, but I know you're really close with your whole family, having Max stay with you. I was curious, in lieu of Pierre getting to be here himself, is this exactly how you would have wanted this weekend to go?
For sure. I've known Pierre for a long time. We played golf at the same club in Montreal. I got to know him that way through some of his clients. Pierre had me at his house for lunch one day, and we talked a little business, but it wasn't for him to represent me. He had heard something that might be interesting for me to hear, and so that relationship was always kind of there with Pierre. And he rented my house in Montreal. One year we had a nice big house that we weren't there during hockey season. We'd go back in the summers, and Pierre had sold his house, and he was looking for a place to stay for a few months. He stayed at my place, so there's always a connection with the Lacroix and Coco and Pierre, and then getting to know Eric and Marty, them playing golf as young little kids, where we were all, spending our summers at Rosemary Country Club, and then, taking it a step further when Pierre called me during COVID, asking if I knew somebody that could take Max in, because he was going to Governor's Academy, where my daughter went to school. That's like 15 minutes from where we live, and they couldn't board, so the kids have to find a place to live for 3 months. And so I said, yeah. I said Max could stay with us, and he stayed with us for 3 months. Ended up being 6 months. So now that was another layer of family, getting to know Pierre's grandson and Eric and Jill even more, and the other kids. So it was all amazing and fun, and he was all about family. So the celebration that happened last night, and it's going to happen tonight, was a really special one, and I'm sure Pierre's looking down and being very happy in how everything is going, and he's going to be very proud of his grandson tonight after he's done making his speech, because that kid is amazing.